All right. This video is about a phrase that I found recently that says that the way of illumination seems dark. This phrase brings moments of my life, either in zazen or just thinking about things, where one is trying to find out about what's the nature of everything outside and also ourselves. And one starts this process of self-inquiry and asking questions about who am I, what's this, what's that, how is all of this connected? And a lot of questions, or maybe one single question, begins a series of possible answers and rationalization that brings more questions. And these questions bring some answers, but many more questions. And then these questions start to explode and grow in an exponential way, and become very overwhelming very quickly. And sometimes in this process of asking ourselves, we might think and make a conclusion and settle to the conclusion. However, we'll soon realize that whichever conclusion we took was partial by nature. Because whenever we start rationalizing, we use linear thinking, which requires concepts. And concepts are always relative to how we group things in the world, in our minds. And therefore, the conclusions we create out of certain perspective of the world is by nature incomplete. And if you want, flawed. Useful, true, but flawed and incomplete. And therefore, it's likely to generate more questions and more questions and some answers and more questions and more questions and questions about the questions about the questions. And that goes on. And this process brings us at moments into a space where there is a huge uncertainty, where confusion is really high and often unbearable. And there is this other phrase that I also like very much, that says, it is when we light a candle that we see how dark it is. It is when we start asking questions that we think we are creating a small light that we can say, okay, this is it, I'm there. But then when we look around, it's really dark, really scary. And it happens often that we get stuck in this linear process, linear thinking. The amount of questions and uncertainty grows. There's confusion and we get stuck. We realize that as much as we could go further, this is going to be endless, and the frustration will just grow. And there is fear of losing our minds. There is fear of not being able to understand anything, and suddenly all the conclusions we made about the world just don't work anymore, or they're not as true as we thought they were. And that's the moment where we have to take the leap, to jump from total confusion, from darkness, to openness, light, and being calm. And I don't know if that's called enlightenment or, well, I probably not, because if I can put it in a concept, then it's not it. Though I think that that's one process by which Zen tries to, I would say, raise awareness, but it's probably not the case because it's not conscious awareness. But there's a point where one knows without knowing, knows without using concepts, that we have to stop there. And it's okay. And we can't get it. And it's okay. And that's when we get to a moment of tranquility, peace, and surprisingly, we feel we're here. The present moment is here. And it's kind of funny too, because we realized in a split second that we were not here while we were rationalizing or making all this confusion in our brains. It just took us away from the present moment, and it's the confusion and this frustration that brings you back right here. And I really cannot put it into words. I think that's as much as I can go in trying to explain it. Brief, I wanted to go back to this phrase, the way of illumination seems dark. And to me it connects deeply to the spirit and the teachings of Zen. Greetings, and until next time. Cheers.